Lux is South African community activist and president of the Soweto Parliament. Lux is also engaging with other Africans on the No More rallies held by Ethiopians and Africans in South Africa. Now Lux has arrived in Addis Ababa to show his solidarity for Ethiopians and witnessing the reality of the country for the global community. In a press briefing, Lux briefed journalists on the objectives of his visit to Ethiopia, and he said, as a young African, Africans should focus on their potential to solve Africa's problem by their own.
This is our continent. This is the continent of our ancestors. We have nowhere else to go as Africans. Other people can go when the going is tough. When things get bad, they can say, no, I'm going to Europe, I'm going back, I'm going to America. We have nowhere to go. This is our continent. So we must fight with everything we have. Even if it means we must join the ancestors on the other side of the spiritual world. We must die for the continent. And we are ready to die for the continent. That's a small thing. We don't mind. So we're saying that we're not going to be entertaining politics. We're going to be entertaining the truth. And the truth is that African problems must be solved by Africans, meaning African solutions for African problems.
Lux also called on African youth to be conscious on the issues of Africa and to sacrifice for African unity.
This is our time. This is the new Africa. Our parents, our grandparents, except for here in Ethiopia, were colonized. We need to change how things operate in Africa. We need to show that we can unite one way or another in Africa. We are not going to tolerate the idea of young people running away from their countries because their countries have problems. We have to, as young people, make sure that we fight for our countries. We don't only talk, but we fight for our countries. But young people in the African continent are too soft, and we are here to wake them up. They are sleeping too much. They must all wake up. And if you think that you don't have the courage, we'll show you that you have the courage. If people can move from the south of Africa into Ethiopia to come and help you fight a good fight, why can't you fight for your own country?
Lux recalled Ethiopia's support for South Africans during the anti-apartheid movement and underscored that the nation is a beacon of freedom of all black people. Therefore, all the black people should support its struggle against foreign pressures.
Ethiopia is the only country not colonized in the African continent. That means the wealth of our African knowledge, the pure wealth of our African knowledge, lies in Ethiopia. So saving Ethiopia, making sure that Ethiopia does not fall into the hands of colonization, is saving the African continent. Because if the last country gets colonized, we have lost everything. Our history is gone. We now have to search deeper. So now we've got it. It's in Ethiopia. So if you want the restoration of our cultures and the African ways of doing things, just come to Ethiopia. The time is a clear example. The rest of the continent uses the colonizer's time. And the young people don't know that across the continent. But Ethiopia still uses the correct African time, when the sun rises, the nature's time. So those are small things that we need to understand, why it's important for all of Africa to fight and help Ethiopia with a good fight.
For a continent of around 1.3 billion people needs a permanent voice and seat at the UN Security Council, Lux noted.
We move from physical colonization, physical apartheid in South Africa, to systematic apartheid. They put systems in place, and then we think that we've won when we haven't won. Look at us now in the United Nations, in the Security Council, in the AU Security Council. What's going on there? It's nonsense that's going on there. Young people are saying it in the continent. It's nonsense. It's not Abiy saying it. It's not Cyril Ramaphosa saying it. It's us, the young people of the continent, saying it. So if you don't get that reform, a revolution will come against those systems too.
Lux established the Soweto Parliament comprising people regardless of their religion, race and political views to promote justice and equality.
Young people will make sure that they unite with you and fight for this continent because this is our motherland.